Baba Vanga and Nostradamus predicted this country. They lived worlds apart, blind but far-seeing in the Balkans, the other a mysterious figure cloaked in verses from Renaissance France. Baba Vanga and Nostradamus never spoke, never crossed paths. Yet, through the mists of time, both whispered of the same place. A country not named directly, but echoed in symbols, a land that appears again and again in their predictions, like a shadow moving through centuries of warning. What is this country, and why do their visions seem to converge here today, when the world feels more fragile than ever? Join the journey of wisdom as we uncover the threads of prophecy, explore the meanings hidden in riddles, and ask, could these ancient visions be speaking to us now? Number 1. Baba Vanga's predictions. Baba Vanga, a blind mystic from Bulgaria, is known for her astonishing ability to predict significant events throughout history, many of which have left the world in awe. Among her most famous prophecies are the tragic events of 9/11, the sinking of the Kursk submarine, and the Brexit referendum. Though she lived in a time far removed from modern technological advancements, her visions transcended boundaries of time and space, presenting her as one of the most intriguing and enigmatic figures in the realm of prophecy. Among her many cryptic predictions, Baba Vanga frequently referred to an unnamed country, which she described as the land of light and ashes. This nation, according to her, would play a pivotal role in shaping the future of the world, emerging in a time of global crises and turmoil. Her words were often veiled in symbolism, leaving much to interpretation, but the underlying message remained clear. A powerful and transformative force would rise from this land. One of her most striking prophecies, spoken in 1979 during a trance-like state, stated, "From the east, a red sun will rise, but the light will fall to the west. The land of shifting stones will hold the seed." This imagery of the red sun rising from the east and casting its light toward the west has been a subject of intense speculation. The land of shifting stones is often thought to symbolize a country marked by upheaval, both in terms of natural disasters and political change. While Baba Vanga did not explicitly name the country in her visions, her followers believe she was pointing toward a nation that would emerge as a global leader during a time when the world would face an intersection of social, environmental, and economic crises. This seed she spoke of could refer to the potential for both survival and destruction, a dual-edged sword, where the future of humanity could hinge on the actions of this land. Her prediction seems to suggest that this mysterious nation will play a decisive role in the future, influencing the course of humanity's fate as the world faces an uncertain, tumultuous path. Number 2. Nostradamus's predictions. Nostradamus, the 16th century French apothecary and seer, is perhaps best known for his enigmatic quatrains, 4-line verses, that are often cryptic and filled with symbols. His writings, though controversial and often debated, have long fascinated historians, scholars, and mystics. Despite the complexity and ambiguity of his predictions, many believe that Nostradamus foresaw pivotal events in world history, from the rise of empires to global catastrophes. The vague nature of his quatrains has led to a variety of interpretations, but some argue that this ambiguity was intentional, meant to conceal profound truths from those unprepared to understand them. One of the most widely cited quatrains of Nostradamus comes from Century 8, Quatrain 15, which reads, "The great empire shall be moved by the winds. A child of the dragon shall rise and fall, but one in the land of storms and steel shall hold the key to the world's fate." This quatrain is particularly intriguing due to the vivid imagery and the cryptic references to forces that seem to shape the future of the world. The phrase, "land of storms and steel," has captivated many, as it conjures images of a country caught in the turbulence of natural disasters and conflict, yet one with a formidable industrial or military power. Some interpret this land as being in the east, a region marked by both intense challenges and great strength. The child of the dragon, mentioned in the quatrain, is often thought to represent a nation or leader who rises with strength and potential, but whose power is unstable and subject to the whims of fate, potentially rising to prominence only to fall just as quickly. This imagery might refer to the cyclical nature of global empires, where power and influence can be fleeting. What is particularly striking is the similarity between this quatrain and Baba Vanga's prophecy. Both seers describe a land at the crossroads of destruction and rebirth, where natural and political forces collide, and where the fate of the world could be determined. The land of storms and steel that Nostradamus refers to bears a striking resemblance to the land of shifting stones mentioned by Baba Vanga. Both speak to a country situated in a volatile region where both technological advancements and natural calamities are part of its reality. Together, these two prophecies suggest a country in a state of constant change, both a potential beacon of hope and a harbinger of chaos, poised to play a critical role in the unfolding drama of the world's future. Number 3. Common themes between the two prophecies. When we compare the descriptions of the mysterious country given by both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, we see several striking similarities that suggest they were both pointing to the same nation, despite the centuries that separated their visions. Both seers highlighted the intersection of advanced technology and powerful spiritual forces set against a backdrop of environmental and political turmoil. One of the most prominent shared themes is the idea of a country that experiences both great technological progress and devastating natural disasters. Baba Vanga's reference to the bearer of both light and ashes hints at a land that will rise to prominence through innovation, yet face tremendous hardship, symbolized by ashes, the aftermath of destruction. Nostradamus similarly alludes to a land of storms and steel, suggesting a place where violent natural forces, such as storms or earthquakes, are frequent, but where the industrial and technological might, represented by steel, provides resilience and power. Both prophets also refer to a country where ancient traditions and modern advancements are deeply intertwined. Baba Vanga spoke of a land of shifting stones, a reference that could symbolize both the geological instability, such as earthquakes or tsunamis, and the constant evolution of society. Meanwhile, Nostradamus's land of storms and steel evokes the image of a nation that is both battered by natural forces and strengthened by its technological advancements, offering a unique blend of spiritual depth and modern innovation. This contrast between the ancient and the futuristic is a central theme in both prophecies, illustrating how this country stands at the crossroads of past wisdom and future progress. Another shared element in their descriptions is the sense of a nation with untapped potential, one that possesses immense strength but remains hidden or restrained, either by its own internal forces or by external limitations. Baba Vanga spoke of a silent people, suggesting a nation whose power is not immediately apparent, but who will rise to speak when the world is at its most chaotic. Nostradamus, with his reference to a great empire moved by the winds, alludes to a country that, while immense in potential, is also at the mercy of shifting geopolitical forces and natural upheavals. Both prophecies describe a nation whose true power is latent, existing beneath the surface, quietly waiting for the right moment to emerge and shape the world's fate. Together, these common themes, technological prowess, spiritual depth, vulnerability to disasters, and hidden power, paint a portrait of a country that stands poised to play a decisive role in the unfolding future. The nations described by both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus are not simply passive players in global events. Rather, they are central to the world's trajectory, marked by both great potential and inevitable challenges. If you've watched this far, you're already uncovering the mysterious visions of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, especially their predictions about this very country. Comment below with "prophecy revealed" to show you're ready to explore these fascinating insights even deeper. Don't miss what's coming next. There are still powerful revelations ahead that could change how you see the world. Stay tuned until the end. Number 4. Which country is the focus of these prophecies? After examining the shared themes and imagery within the prophecies of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, it becomes clear that both seers were pointing to the same country, Japan. Although they lived centuries apart and their words were cryptic and symbolic, the descriptions they provided align so closely with Japan's history and current position on the world stage that it's impossible to ignore the connections. One of the most compelling reasons why Japan fits the descriptions in both prophecies is its historical experience with immense destruction and rebirth. Baba Vanga spoke of a land that would face great water tragedies, nuclear darkness, and yet rise to lead a spiritual shift. Japan has endured some of the most devastating events in modern history, notably the atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki during World War II. These events not only led to a nuclear darkness, but also set the stage for Japan's incredible recovery, both in terms of its economy and technological innovation. In this sense, Japan embodies the very duality described by Baba Vanga: destruction and rebirth. Similarly, Japan's experience with natural disasters, such as the 2011 Fukushima nuclear disaster, echoes Baba Vanga's predictions of a land ravaged by catastrophes, yet capable of rising from the ashes. The Fukushima disaster, coupled with the nation's geographical location prone to earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions, aligns perfectly with the shifting stones mentioned by Baba Vanga. The shifting stones could symbolize the constant physical and metaphorical shifts Japan experiences, from natural upheaval to societal and political changes. Nostradamus's reference to "a land of storms and steel" also resonates deeply with Japan. This phrase seems to speak to Japan's resilience in the face of not just natural disasters, but also the strength of its industrial and technological might. Japan is known worldwide for its technological innovations, particularly in robotics and artificial intelligence, and its industry is a key global force. The steel in Nostradamus's quatrain can certainly be interpreted as a reference to Japan's manufacturing power and technological advancements, from bullet trains to cutting-edge electronics. At the same time, Japan's vulnerability to environmental disasters and the storms it faces align with the country's continuous battle with nature's unpredictability. Moreover, Japan's unique blending of tradition and technology, where Shinto shrines stand alongside high-tech skyscrapers and robotic innovations, mirrors the themes of ancient values intertwined with modern advancements described in both prophecies. Japan has maintained a deep respect for its cultural heritage while embracing cutting-edge technology, making it a country that truly lives at the intersection of the old and the new, exactly as both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus foresaw. In summary, Japan fits the profiles painted by both Baba Vanga and Nostradamus in their prophecies. The country's history of destruction and recovery, its advanced technology, and its resilience in the face of disaster align with the mysterious land of shifting stones, storms and steel, and light and ashes described by the two seers. Japan stands as a unique example of both immense potential and vulnerability, making it the key nation both seers alluded to, positioned at a critical juncture for the future of humanity. Number 5. Japan in the current global context. Today, Japan stands at a critical crossroads in the global arena, shaped by a complex mix of technological advancements, geopolitical challenges, and ongoing environmental threats. While it has long been a global leader in technology and innovation, Japan also faces significant military and environmental risks, making its future uncertain yet deeply consequential. On the military front, Japan has traditionally maintained a pacifist constitution, particularly following the devastation of World War II. However, in recent years, the country has been re-evaluating its defense policies in response to rising tensions in East Asia, particularly from neighboring powers like China and North Korea. As these nations increase their military capabilities, Japan has gradually moved toward expanding its defense forces, though this shift has sparked domestic debates over the nation's military future. Japan's dormant military potential, constrained by post-war pacifism, is now slowly awakening. This resurgence of military capability could be a double-edged sword, positioning Japan as a key player in maintaining regional security or, conversely, contributing to escalating tensions in an already volatile region. Simultaneously, Japan is at the forefront of technological innovation, particularly in the fields of artificial intelligence, AI, and robotics. The country has become a global leader in robotics, with cutting-edge developments in automation, AI-driven industries, and humanoid robots. These advancements are transforming Japan's economy and society, but they also raise important questions about the future of labor, ethics, and human-machine relationships. As AI and robotics continue to reshape the global landscape, Japan's leadership in these fields could be a game-changer in how humanity interacts with technology. Yet, the rapid pace of technological advancement also brings potential risks, such as increased dependence on automation and the ethical dilemmas associated with AI. In addition to these military and technological challenges, Japan remains highly vulnerable to natural disasters, which have historically shaped its development. Earthquakes, tsunamis, and volcanic eruptions are regular reminders of the country's precarious position on the Pacific Ring of Fire. The 2011 Fukushima disaster, a nuclear catastrophe caused by an earthquake and tsunami, serves as a chilling example of the fragile balance between technological advancement and the destructive forces of nature. These environmental challenges, coupled with the constant threat of future disasters, raise the question of how Japan will continue to navigate such turmoil while maintaining its global standing. Looking to the future, Japan's role on the world stage is uncertain. Will it emerge as a global leader in a new era of spiritual enlightenment, fostering a collective awakening that could guide humanity toward a more balanced and harmonious existence? Or will it become a flashpoint, where technological prowess and military power collide, igniting a new cycle of destruction and chaos? Japan's unique position as a nation steeped in ancient traditions, yet pushing the boundaries of technological and military capabilities, means its future could go in either direction, a potential force for peace or a catalyst for peace. Conflict. In the context of the prophecies of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, Japan's future holds profound significance. Both seers spoke of a nation at the crossroads of destruction and renewal. With the global balance of power shifting and Japan's increasing prominence in both technology and defense, the world may look to this island nation for answers to some of its most pressing challenges. Whether Japan becomes the beacon of human progress or a trigger for new conflicts remains to be seen, but it is clear that its path will play a pivotal role in the unfolding story of the 21st century. A lesson for the present: what prophecies teach us about ourselves? When we hear the predictions of Baba Vanga or Nostradamus, it's easy to get caught up in the mystery trying to figure out which country they were talking about. But if we stop at that surface-level question, we may miss something far more important, the deeper message for our world today. Prophecies aren't just warnings about the future. They're reflections of our present, a mirror held up to how we're living, how society is evolving, and what path might lead humanity to peace or to destruction. Number 1. You are the country they spoke of. The phrase, land of light and ashes, might sound like it's describing a distant, mystical place. But what if that land is actually closer than we think within us, in the very landscape of our hearts? When ancient prophecies spoke of nations that would rise and fall, of lands bathed in brightness and others consumed by their own destruction, they may not have only been talking about political empires or physical territories. They may have also been speaking in symbols, pointing us toward an inner truth we often overlook. Each of us carries both light and ashes within us. The light shines when we choose kindness, compassion, understanding, and courage in the face of suffering. It's present when we reach out to help someone without expecting anything in return, when we listen deeply instead of just reacting, or when we forgive someone who may never say sorry. On the other hand, the ashes appear when we let anger smolder in our hearts, when fear clouds our judgment, or when greed pulls us away from contentment. As the Buddha once said, "We are what we think. All that we are arises with our thoughts. With our thoughts, we make the world." In that way, we become the very country the prophecies spoke of, not a land somewhere out there, but a soul either flourishing in light or crumbling in ashes. This dual nature isn't a flaw, but a truth of being human. Many people, especially in the middle chapters of life from 30 to 65, start to reflect on what kind of legacy they are leaving behind. Perhaps that's why this message resonates more deeply at this age. We've seen the consequences of actions driven by ego or fear, both in ourselves and others, and we've also seen the quiet power of generosity and mindfulness. Every day we're given the choice: which side of ourselves do we feed? As the Cherokee parable reminds us, there are two wolves inside you zone of anger, envy, greed, and resentment, the other of peace, love, hope, and humility. Which one wins? The one you feed. This teaching echoes the wisdom of Buddhist practice, which gently guides us not to reject the darker parts of ourselves, but to see them clearly and respond with awareness. It's not about perfection, but presence. As Thich Nhat Hanh said, "The seed of suffering in you may be strong, but don't wait until you have no more suffering before allowing yourself to be happy." So how do we walk through this world as a land of light rather than ashes? Start with your smallest decisions. The way you speak to your loved ones, the way you react when something doesn't go your way, how you treat yourself when you're tired or frustrated, these are the moments where prophecy meets practice. This is how nations within us either rise or fall. In today's modern life, filled with noise, rapid changes, and constant comparison, it's easy to get swept into emotional reactions or feel powerless. But you are not powerless. You are a landscape of potential, constantly being shaped by every thought, word, and action. The more we feed our light with daily acts of goodness, whether it's a moment of stillness, a smile to a stranger, or forgiving someone in silence, the more we shift not only ourselves but the world around us. Because the truth is, when you become the light, you help others find their way too. As the Dhammapada wisely states, "As a solid rock is not shaken by the wind, wise people falter not amidst blame and praise." Be that steady presence. Be the land of light. Number 2. Crisis is also a doorway to rebirth. Sometimes, when life feels like it's falling apart, when the world shakes with war, disasters, and confusion, it's easy to believe everything is just ending. But throughout history, even the words of ancient prophets tell a different story. Yes, they warned of chaos and collapse, of societies breaking down and natural forces turning fierce. But they didn't stop there. They also pointed to something deeper, something many people overlook. Within every crisis lies the seed of transformation. So, what if those dark times weren't just warnings of destruction, but gentle nudges calling us to wake up, to reset, and to grow in a new way? When we hear about prophecies describing the end of things, it might sound frightening. But ask yourself this: what usually comes after an ending? Isn't it often a new beginning? Just like after winter comes spring, after a forest fire comes renewal, the hard moments in life can be like thresholds, doors we must walk through to find a better version of ourselves. Could it be that what looks like a breakdown is sometimes the start of a breakthrough? Crisis is also a doorway to rebirth. This isn't just a poetic line, it's a truth we see again and again in our lives. Think about the times you've struggled maybe with loss, failure, or deep uncertainty. Didn't those moments also push you to reflect, to grow, and to discover parts of yourself you didn't know existed? There's a choice in every moment of suffering. We can react with fear, anger, or control. Or we can pause, breathe, and respond with reflection and compassion. The prophet's visions were never meant to paralyze us with fear. Instead, they can serve as mirrors reflecting back the state of our hearts, our societies, and our choices. When the world seems unsteady, it's also an invitation to examine how we're living, how we're treating one another, and whether we're truly aligned with values like kindness, patience, and honesty. Are we reacting out of habit, or are we listening deeply to what life is asking of us right now? When we reflect, we gain clarity. And when we choose compassion even when it's hard, we begin to create a world that doesn't just survive chaos, but heals through it. We all have that power. The storms might come, but we can decide how we show up in them. Do we close our hearts or open them wider? Do we run from discomfort or face it and grow? That choice between reaction and reflection, between control and compassion, is what shapes our future, both as individuals and as a collective. So, here's the lesson. Crisis doesn't mean the end. It's often life's way of giving us another Chancean opening to rise above our old patterns and become something wiser, more grounded, more human. Let the prophecies remind you not just of what could fall apart, but of what could rise from the ashes if we pay attention and act with care. The real prophecy is not about fate, it's about potential. Your potential, our potential, and the world we choose to create together. Number 3, technology can't replace the human spirit. Let me speak to your heart for a moment. We live in a time of dazzling progress machines that think, cities that never sleep, and technologies that predict our wants before we know them ourselves. Many old prophecies spoke of such times, visions of steel, of relentless machines, of power that climbs higher and higher. And yet, what good is all that power if the heart behind it is empty? You see, no matter how advanced we become, no matter how smart the systems or how fast the processors, there is one thing technology can never replicate: the human spirit. It cannot code compassion. It cannot automate kindness. It cannot download the warmth of your smile or the courage of your heart. As the Buddha once said, the mind is everything. What you think, you become. So we must ask ourselves, in the age of artificial intelligence, are we losing touch with natural intelligence, the quiet wisdom that lives inside each of us? Think about it. Have you ever been moved by a machine the way a stranger's act of kindness has moved you? Has a screen ever comforted you like a friend's gentle presence during hard times? This is the wisdom the ancient seers were trying to hand down through their visions, not a fear of progress, but a reminder of what matters most as we progress. Because strength isn't just about might or invention, it's about character. The kind of strength that doesn't boast but serves. The kind of strength that chooses truth even when it's hard. the kind of strength that holds compassion like a lamp, lighting the way for others. Can machines love like that? Can they carry the burden of empathy or offer the balm of forgiveness? When prophecies spoke of machines rising, they were not warning us to stop progress. They were asking us to pause and look within. What are we building if we forget to build ourselves? The soul matters more than the system, because only through the soul can we find real connection. You, dear listener, are more than your productivity, more than your efficiency. You are a living reminder that the heart still matters in a world full of circuits. As the Dalai Lama once beautifully said, love and compassion are necessities, not luxuries. Without them, humanity cannot survive. So let me leave you with a question. In your own life, as technology moves faster around you, are you moving slower within? Are you nurturing your spirit with the same energy you give your devices? Take a moment and reflect, not with judgment, but with curiosity. Because if we lose the human spirit in this digital race, what are we really winning? And perhaps the most sacred thing we can do in this modern world is to simply remain human, flawed, kind, real. What do you think? Can crisis be a doorway to rebirth? Share your thoughts in the comments below. For example, yes, crisis can be a chance to grow and rebuild stronger. Number 4. Quiet voices can move mountains. In a world that often mistakes noise for strength, there's a quiet truth that ancient prophecies gently whisper to us. Real power doesn't always roar, it listens, reflects, and acts with intention. Baba Vanga, the blind mystic from Bulgaria, once spoke of the silent people who would quietly rise to guide the world's fate. Nostradamus, too, in his cryptic verses, suggested the presence of hidden forces, those unseen hands shaping destinies from the background. These messages, though wrapped in mystery, hold a mirror to our present selves and our often overlooked potential. In today's fast-paced world, where voices battle to be the loudest and opinions fly before thoughts settle, the quiet ones are easily dismissed. Yet, in stillness there is clarity, and in quiet hearts there can be the strength to move mountains. Consider the strength of the bodhisattva, who vows to delay their own enlightenment to help others awaken. This is not a loud or flashy mission, but one rooted in profound silence and compassion. As the Buddha said, "A man is not called wise because he talks and talks again, but if he is peaceful, loving, and fearless, then he is in truth called wise." This reflects a deeper understanding. It is not the volume of our voice, but the depth of our wisdom that leaves a mark on the world. The lesson here is timely. Many of us feel insignificant, unheard, or even invisible amidst the noise of modern life. But just as roots grow silently beneath the earth to hold up the tallest trees, so too do the efforts of the gentle-hearted hold up communities, families, and even nations. Your quiet acts of kindness, your calm presence in chaos, your ability to truly listen, these are not small things. They are transformative forces. The Dhammapada reminds us, better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. In our daily lives, especially for those of us between the ages of 30 and 65 who carry responsibilities, who may be reflecting on life's direction or legacy, this truth offers comfort and purpose. We don't need to shout to be heard by the universe. Instead, by living with intention, by choosing stillness over chaos, and by holding space for others in our silence, we naturally become beacons of strength. Look around. Those who have truly touched your life were not always the ones who demanded attention, but the ones who gave you theirs. So let us take this insight from the prophets and the teachings of wisdom traditions seriously. Let us become the quiet voices that echo across time through our integrity, patience, and compassion. As Lao Tzu said, silence is a source of great strength, and strength, in the end, is not about domination but about enduring truth. The mountain does not need to shout to be mighty, it simply is. And so can we be. Number 5. Every choice is a thread in the prophecy. Let's talk about something powerful, something that connects all of us, whether we realize it or not. The idea that every single choice we make carries weight, meaning, and direction. When we hear the word prophecy, we often think of mysterious predictions, grand visions of the future, or fate written in the stars. But what if prophecy isn't about some distant, unreachable future? What if prophecy is being written right now by the decisions you and I make every day? If we believe, even for a moment, that a single country can shape the future of the world, then it stands to reason that a single person, just one, can also shape the future of their family, their neighborhood, their community. That person could be you. Think about this. A small act of honesty when it would have been easier to lie. A moment of patience when frustration was boiling inside. The decision to forgive someone who hurt you, even when the pain still lingers. These might seem like small things, barely noticeable in the chaos of life. But in truth, they are seeds. Seeds of change. Seeds of a different path, seeds that can grow into something far more powerful than we imagine. Each time you choose to act with kindness, compassion, or integrity, you slightly shift the future, gently but surely rewriting the story of what comes next. Do you see how powerful that makes you? It's easy to feel small in a world full of noise and confusion, but what if your smallest decision today becomes someone else's turning point tomorrow? Every time you choose the good over the easy, the peaceful path over the reactive one, you pull on the thread of the present and reshape the pattern of what's ahead. Just like in weaving, where one thread can change the entire fabric, your actions influence more than just your life. They influence the lives of those around you. This is how prophecies are born, not from distant predictions, but from the living truth of everyday actions. So, ask yourself, what thread are you pulling today? What future are you weaving with your words, your thoughts, your actions? Are your daily choices contributing to a prophecy of division and pain, or to one of healing and unity? This isn't about being perfect, it's about being intentional. You don't have to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, but you do carry the power to shift the energy around you. Even when no one is watching, especially then, your choices speak loudly to the universe. And here's the wisdom you can carry forward. The future is not fixed. It lives and breathes with our choices. Don't underestimate the ripple effect of your decisions. A kind word, a helping hand, a moment of understanding, these aren't just nice gestures, they are the building blocks of a new story. You're not just living in the present, you're shaping what comes next. So start small, but start with intention. This is your prophecy to write. Thank you for joining us on the journey of wisdom. As we've seen through the visions of Baba Vanga and Nostradamus, prophecy isn't just about predicting the future, it's about reminding us of the choices we make today. Whether the land of light and ashes lies across the sea or within our own hearts, the message is clear. We each have a role in shaping what's to come. If you found meaning in this exploration, please take a moment to like, share, and subscribe to The Journey of Wisdom. And don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you won't miss our upcoming reflections on ancient insights and modern truths. Until next time, walk gently, live mindfully, and may your path be lit with compassion and clarity.